All my judgments are. She picked up the baby. Stressed me out. Come on, Sharon. You don't have to go yet. Oh, you're not. He's a person. Oh.
It's now 6 p.m. The chair would like to call this January 17th, 2023 regular call board meeting to order. Ms. Brown, has the public been notified?
Yes, sir.
And I do confirm a quorum. Chair, we ask for a motion to go into executive session. Personnel. Yeah.
I make a motion to enter into executive session for personnel.
Motion made by Ms. Green, second by Ms. Harrison to go into executive session for personnel matter. We won't be long. I'll say 6:30, but we should be out way before that time. All in favor, show by raising their hand. 7-0. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
That's mine. And I was like, this. I like this.
In the back.
This is so.
Right.
Everyone. Yeah.
You gotta sit back on cool, calm, and we don't worry about a thing.
I can control it.
I always tell them that. We always be so bad.
If I can't control it.
I bet you'll have a high blood pressure with them. I got it. I don't worry about everything.
Watch you.
Yeah, except things, cannot say. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. You too. 25. 25. You too.
So,
How much more? How many more do you think? How many more do you have?
yeah. No.
What's that?
Because it's not gonna change.
No, next school don't have that.
I'm retired.
You know what?
I'm gonna get my high jobs. Have somebody that I coach. I'm going to person. You have what's I'm saying. I'm getting teaching. I'm not teaching. I'm going to. What position? Yes, there.
Government, this government.
But I'm still coming out.
You know, but in 10 years, the federal government is going to time.
We have to make it.
So we're ready. So that's the whole thing.
I'm definitely.
So it's still gonna be. But you know, they of the teacher.
To know to give the student more time, and it's not gonna be.
It's not gonna change how much you. Whitfield is done. It's like how we want to work such a big without this year 28. I told him, I can't promise them how. That is sweet.
6 years. Even I'm saying
That's 7.
no, it's here.
You know what I mean? You know, I'm looking for a job. I'm sorry. I do a good job. I ain't gonna tell you what to do. It's something you have to do with that conversation. I will.
Here.
This is my brother.
It's not. No matter. I had some.
All of them before me, every 2025, I have about 20 years. I told them I'm going to time. I'm going to do those. I can't do shit. North Carolina. Three states.
It's crazy. Hey, no, have a problem. She got a reference from me.
That's the only thing I do. Train the soldier come out. Teacher, you know, was chief plan.
I remember the real long time for the practice. Yeah, no, I got members too. Well, I was reading in the strength of delivery in Muslim school, and I had to get it by Taylor.
I'm sorry, functions, you know, a lot of people, and keep them in. It's all more on Amazon. Yeah, I was. That is what. Yeah, that's why.
Why do they feel like the killing?
Then I really get. Yeah. When I made it. They had the contract.
Well, you know.
What they are. I made I saw it. Read that there. They took the word on the office. Oh, yeah.
Here we have been motion. Come out of executive session, no action.
I make a motion, we exit executive session, no action taken.
A second. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. David, come out of executive session, no action taken. All in favor, show by raising of the hand. It would be 7-0. I just wanted to welcome everyone to our January 17th, 2023 regular school board meeting. So glad for you to come out for the way it is for appreciation month, and isn't it? We thank you. But just to support our children, this is the reason we're here. And we thank you. And just love your continued support. As a time, Mr. Cleveland. Thank you.
And for a moment of silence.
Maybe see. And we'll approve the agenda as presented.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Second for the motion. Motion made by Ms. Carroll, second by Dr. Harris. All in favor? Agenda. Approve the agenda as presented, show by raising of the hand. That would be 7-0. Do we have any public comment? No. No public comment. It's time. Presentation and recognition of South Carolina School Board Boardmanship Institute recognition. And we're going to ask Thank you, Chairman Miller. It gives me a great pleasure to recognize two of our outstanding board members who have achieved another level relative to Boardman's Institute. Since it is Board Appreciation Month, I'll take this opportunity not only to say that we want to recognize these two board members for reaching another level, but also to express my sincere gratitude for having the best school board in the world. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give it in the world. I mean that with all honesty. It has been an absolute pleasure to work under your guidance and your leadership. So first, we will recognize Ms. Renee Green, who has reached level 2 in the Boardsmanship Institute training program as a school district trustee in Fairfield County School District. So give a great and next we will recognize Dr. James Harris, who has also reached level 2 in the Boardmanship Institute training program for the Fairfield County School District. Give a round of applause. And so, as I said a second ago, it is School Board Appreciation Month. And in many instances, this can be a thankless job. And I don't know how many times we call school board members and say, I'm going to tell you, you're doing a great job, keep up the good work. Most times when they get a call, it's because we're calling to complain and express our displeasure about something. But as they say in the church, give me my flowers while I can still smell them. And so we're going to give them some flowers today. I can still smell it. To show them that we appreciate the job that they do. And so we have school principals with schools that are assigned to respective board members. And so now we'll go ahead and recognize all the respective board members. So do we have a particular order, Ms. Brown? Or I can just go in whatever order I want to. Okay, so I'll just take an order like that. So I'll go ahead and start on the far end. And so Ms. Renee Green, come forward, Ms. Renee Green. Fairfield Elementary School, we got a big blue box they bring it to. Next, we will recognize Dr. Harris. Dr. Harris, please come forward. Dr. Harris got a bunch of people. All right.
Give me that. You know that? You got it. I got it.
Reverend Paul Jackson Jr. Mr. Joe Senior. Right here, Miss Sylvia Harris.
Chairman Miller, Henry Miller.
All right. One thing about that orange, Bill had that orange on, or we in tune. Now we're gonna move on to our academic excellence award at the secondary level. We have been recognizing our elementary students over the past several board meetings. But now is our opportunity to recognize some of our outstanding secondary students who have done a tremendous job on the most recent state assessment. I turn it over to Dr. Ed.
Good evening, Chairman Miller, members of the board, Dr. Green, along with our district stakeholders. We are proud to recognize the academic achievements of students from Fairfield Middle School and Fairfield Central High School. These students scored the highest achievement level on SC rating and or earned an A 90 or above on the inner course examination for Algebra 1, Biology 1, U.S. History, English 2, or U.S. History. Now, we're going to first start with Fairfield Middle School. I will ask that the principal, Mr. Brandon Dixon, if he could come forward. And each student tonight will receive a certificate. And when your name is called, if you could come forward and you will take a picture with the superintendent along with your principal. We will start first with Zariah Anderson. She earned the highest score in ELA and math, and she also was the only middle schooler to earn an A on the EOC EP Algebra 1 level. And she did that as a 7th grader last year. Our next student is Xavier Barbosa Gomez. And he earned the highest achievement in ELA and math. Now, all of the students tonight from the middle school earned the highest level or highest score in ELA and math. All right, our next student is Jamie Brown. Aya Chappelle. Via Carabo. Christian Davis. Isla Johnson. Stella Johnson. Logan Lutzy. Jasmine McMillan. Rishi Patel. Daniel Perez Flores. Adontis Robertson. Keon Squarwell. And Jay Sean Worthy. Let's give all of our Fairfield Middle School scholars a round of applause. Now we move forward with recognizing students from Fairfield Central High School. And these students earned a 90 or above on an EOC assessment. Starting with Tabitria and Ponza, earned an A in biology, English 2, and US history. I also want to note that she made 100 on all 3 of those EOC exams. Jamara Anderson earned an A on the English 2 EOC. Elizabeth Ashworth earned 100 on the US history EOC. We also had several of our students who are being recognized tonight that are also participating in an away basketball game, either as a player or as a cheerleader. So those students, of course, are absent on this evening. Destiny Cannon. Jerika Davis earned an A on English 2. William Dawkins earned a 100 on the biology EOC. Parker Douglas earned an A or 100 on both the biology and English 2. Eddie English earned an A on English 2 in EOC. Kendis Green earned a 100 on the US history exam.
That's great.
And Kinsley Green earned a 100 on the biology and English 2. Alexia Hernandez earned a 100 on the U.S. History EOC. Eddie Hopkins earned an A on U.S. History EOC. Christian James earned an A on the U.S. History EOC. And Taria James earned an A on the English 2 EOC. Kevin Johnson earned a 100 on the English 2 EOC. Deshaun Lamar earned an A on the U.S. History EOC. Solomon Laddie earned a 100 on the U.S. History EOC. Adrian McMillan earned a 100 on the U.S. History EOC. Christopher Murphy earned an A on the biology EOC. Rashid Muwakil earned a 100 on the biology and English 2 EOC. Kushal Kandala earned an A on the EOC on the U.S. History EOC. Adriana Pigney earned an A on the English 2 EOC. Angelique Pratt earned an A on the English 2 EOC. Gianna Rose earned an A on the U.S. History EOC. Jaylon Rogers earned an A on the Algebra EOC. Jaquan Sampson earned a 100 on the U.S. History EOC. Javon Samuel earned a 100 on both the biology and English 2. And Javon Sims earned a 100 on the biology and English 2 EOC. Christina Smallwood earned a 100 on the English 2 EOC. Ricky Smith earned an A on the EOC for biology. And last but certainly not least, Ruben Tucker earned a 100 on the US History EOC. Do we have any students who came in after the recognition that need to be recognized at this time? Let's see if all of our scholars are around the board.
Well, before everyone applauds, first of all, let me say once again, we are so proud of our scholars who have exhibited performance at the highest level. I'll tell you, these state assessments are very, very difficult. It was a good thing they weren't around when I was in school because I wouldn't come close to making an A. But you have shown that you are some of the most prepared students, not only in Fairfield County, but across the state of South Carolina and across the nation. I know you did not do it alone, and so we thank your parents for staying right with that. All right, I appreciate that. Next, we will recognize our National Board Certified Teacher. We have several National Board Certified Teachers. Ms. Silent, you come on up.
Thank you, Dr. Green. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board, and all of our invited guests in the audience. National Board Certification was designed to develop, retain, and recognize accomplished teachers.
National Teachers. If you can respect it.
Again, National Board Certification was designed to develop, retain, and recognize accomplished teachers to generate ongoing improvement in schools nationwide. It is the most respected professional certification available in K through 12 education. The certification process requires that teachers demonstrate standards-based evidence of the positive effect they have on student learning in alignment with the 5 core propositions. They must exhibit a deep understanding of their students, content knowledge, use of data and assessments, and teaching practice. They must also show that they participate in learning communities and provide evidence of ongoing reflection and continuous learning. In Fairfield County School District, we have what is called a cohort of National Board Certified teachers teachers that aspire to become National Board Certified. We have 2 facilitators that guide those individuals or those teachers in that process. When I call your name, will you please stand to be recognized? Ms. Sheila Bieber is a 6th grade teacher. She has 25 years of teaching experience, and she has been National Board Certified since 2006. Ms. Tammy Schofield is a social studies teacher at Gordon Odyssey Academy. She's a virtual instructor. She has 34 years of overall teaching experience, but she has been National Board Certified since 2006 as well. Other National Board Certified teachers in our district include, in addition to Ms. Bieber and Ms. Schofield, Ms. Deborah Cooper, who works in adult ed, Mr. Michael Lindsay, who teaches choral music at Kelly Miller and at McCrory Liston, Dr. Vera Harrison teaches grade 4 at McCrory Liston, Ms. Marcia Huff teaches grade 3 at Fairfield Elementary School, Ms. Jean Mazdinati teaches mathematics at Fairfield Central High School. Ms. Camise Ortiz teaches grade 3 at Giger Elementary School. Dr. Belinda Willis is the art teacher at McCrory Liston and Kelly Miller Elementary School, and Ms. Lori Yarborough teaches grade 2 at Giger Elementary School. Finally, in addition to the names that I just called and the 2 facilitators that I introduced to you, I would like to extend a special recognition to a district educator who just joined this elite group in the fall of 2022, following participation in the district's cohort program. Please join me in congratulating Fairfield Elementary School counselor and National Board certified teacher, Ms. Emily Johnson. For Ms. Johnson, we have a certificate of appreciation. We have a bag with National Board inscripted on it. We asked Ms. Beaver and Ms. Schofield to please stand with Ms. Johnson because you helped her through the process of becoming National Board certified. And Dr. Martin as well. Yes. Oh, yeah. Can't forget Dr. Martin. Get in there. And just so you will know, National Board certified teachers are provided a supplement by the state of South Carolina. At this time, the annual compensation of the supplement that's provided is $5,000 per year. And in addition to that, the district provides $4,000 per year. Thank you.
Johnson, we are extremely proud of this accomplishment, and you're getting it so young. Okay, you just started here, already National Board certified. I know it was a very rigorous journey, but it just shows your commitment to the profession. Congratulations, give another round of applause.
We are soon to.
Okay.
And we can remove board minutes for December 5th, 2022. Can I get a motion?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the minutes from the December 6th, 2022 regular call board meeting. Fine, I get a second.
Second for the motion.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris, to accept the minutes from December 6th regular call board meeting. All in favor, show by raising their hand. That would be 7-0.
That was 6. Happy Jackson.
Right. We have the superintendent reports next. We should be back very shortly. Time our superintendent report.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Miller. First of all, let me recognize Mr. Vonda Brown, who has been recognized as the SCAEOP president-elect for 23-24. And so as president-elect, Ms. Brown is positioned to move into the presidency, I guess, in 24-25. I guess that's how it works. And so she was selected by her peers. And so this is a outstanding accomplishment and further indicative of the outstanding leadership being developed in the Fairfield County School Districts. So let's give Ms. Brown a round of applause here. Outstanding. You tell us what it means. Oh, boy, I just said that. So SCAOP is the South Carolina Association of Education Office Professionals. Okay, South Carolina Association of Education Office Professionals. And quite honestly, Ms. Brown, someone had mentioned that to me this past week, and I thought that you were the president before. And they said, no, she was the president, but she will be the president. All right, and so we congratulate you on that outstanding accomplishment. You know, as was mentioned earlier, we had several students who were out weren't with us today because they were attending the basketball game. The basketball team will be traveling to Columbia High School today. But if you've not had an opportunity to attend a basketball game at the middle school or the high school, I encourage you to take an opportunity to go support our young scholars. In addition, we're in the midst of wrestling season. And so if you've not had an opportunity to witness a wrestling match, you are in for a treat. I tell people wrestling is probably the toughest sport in high school. And we didn't have wrestling in my school when I was young. But anytime I go to a wrestling match, I am absolutely blown away at the kind of shape you need to be in because it is so tough and it is only you. It's just you on that mat with someone else. And so we're in the midst of basketball and wrestling season. All of our teams are doing a phenomenal job. So please check with Ms. Brown board members and find an opportunity to go and support our young scholars. I've seen Mr. Miller and Ms. Harrison and Mr. Davis, and I'm sure all of you have been to some contest, but I know they will appreciate seeing your face in place. You know, I just want to say a little something about the upcoming legislative session. And I say this to the board and I say this to our Fairfield family. It is vitally important that we stay aware of what is going on in the General Assembly. Okay. There are some laws that are being debated that may eventually be signed into bills that are being debated that may eventually be signed into law that I think will be detrimental to the institution of public education. And I just want to share a couple of them. And, you know, I spoke last year about the voucher bill. I think this year's S935, which proposes to give families, I think $5,000 or $6,000 to go to private schools. And I have the utmost respect for families who want to send their children to private school. I have nothing against that. I wish them the utmost success. But a bill that will allow dollars to flow to private institutions and yet allow private institutions to pick and choose who they serve and not require that they meet the same expectations as public schools relative to state assessments, I think it's simply misguided. I think it is a flawed concept. And as much as I am against the concept of vouchers and providing state money to private institutions, at a minimum, if the General Assembly has a desire to do so, those schools should be available to all students. Okay, if you want to leverage the public dollar, I think you should be required to leverage the public student. Okay, and not stand at the door and say you can come, but you are on grade level, so you can't come. You can come, but you're putting it so you can't come. You can come, but you don't have engaged parents, so you can't come. I mean, we are obligated as an institution to serve everyone who comes to our door. And that is the role of public school. And I think that should be the use of public school dollars. And the other part that bothers me is that the proposal is to give private schools the funding and not require that they participate in these same assessments. And so these assessments that our students were recognized for today, making a 100 on the biology intercourse assessment, or 100 on the English 2 intercourse assessment, or 1 intercourse assessment, or SC Ready, or SC Can. If you are going to receive the state money, and we have been asked to be responsible to the public as it relates to these assessments, it baffles me why private schools will not be held to the same pattern. Right. I mean, it really baffles me why we would say those private schools should receive those funds, yet do not have to take those same assessments. And I, you know, as much as people talk about the superiority of private schools, I don't understand what the issue is. If people are proposing that they provide a superior experience, then simply prove it. And simply prove it by taking the same assessments that we've taken, and then we'll have a fair comparison of the job that you are doing or we're doing. You know, I went on record as saying that I have the confidence that public schools are doing an excellent job preparing students in the midst of tremendous challenge. Yeah. Okay. You know, I remind people that public schools take students whether they have good parents or bad parents or no parents at all. Rather you're reading especially, rather you're on grade level or never been to school before. It doesn't matter. And however you come to the door, we serve you and we move you as far as we can move you at the time that we allow it to have with you. And I think any system that is going to receive the public dollar should be required to do the same thing. So I have gone on record many times to say that I am opposed to this proposal of providing vouchers to private schools. And it has nothing to do with me being against private schools, but for public schools and feeling as if the public dollar should be used for the public student. And the other bill that I think you should pay close attention to, because the proposal to provide dollars to private school, quite honestly, is unconstitutional based on the South Carolina Constitution. And so there is a proposal that will amend the South Carolina Constitution, which changes the Constitution where it is no longer in violation of the Constitution. Okay. And so we are debating a bill that obviously someone recognizes is in conflict with the South Carolina Constitution, but we're already proposing a bill that would change the South Carolina Constitution. And I want us to think about how many times the South Carolina Constitution has been changed in your lifetime. That is an unprecedented step. And so what will happen is, if it passed by 2/3 majority in the House and the Senate, then it'll go on a ballot in 2024 and have to be voted on by the general public. So if it is passed this legislative session signed by the governor, that means in 2024, there will be a measure on the ballot that changes the state constitution that will allow private schools to receive public money. And just for a little bit of history, I've shared this before. About 1967 or 1968, the state of South Carolina was providing public money to public schools in an attempt to evade Brown versus the Board of Education. Okay. And the NAACP sued the state of South Carolina to stop that. You know what I'm saying? The state NAACP sued the state of South Carolina to stop the funneling of private money to private schools. And so this is not a new idea. This has already happened before. It has already been determined to be unconstitutional. But I think this will be detrimental to the institution of public education. But at a minimum, access should exist for students. If you want to provide public money to private schools, then you should be obligated to serve the public student. Point blank. If you want, the state wants to provide public money to private schools, those private schools should be obligated to serve the public student. And often when people talk about vouchers, the devil's in the detail. And they say, well, shouldn't parents have a choice? I remind them, parents don't have a choice. Private schools have a choice. Okay? So parents still don't have a choice. Private schools have a choice. The choice is whether they want to allow them to attend or not. And I am always baffled when people say this is the help students who are unsuccessful. If this is the help students who are unsuccessful, who is it that you want to turn away? So I've yet to understand why is there an issue with saying that you would be required to serve all students. In the Green, you would find it unconscionable that there was a proposal to amend the bill last year that said that private schools could not discriminate against special needs students, and it failed. So just imagine that. We're saying that we're going to provide public money to private schools, and they can stand at the door and say, you can't come because you LD, because you TMD, because you EMD, because you PMD, because you dyslexic, because you whatever the disability. They can turn you away. And so I think it's a fundamentally flawed concept that the General Assembly has the wisdom not to move forward with. So those are two things I want members of the board to keep on the radar. I want members of the public to keep on your radar. We'll continue to watch and monitor those bills. I'll tell you the word that I'm hearing is that is almost inevitable that both of those will pass. It's almost inevitable that both of those will pass. And I suspect there will be a legal challenge. It'll be in the hands of the court. But we'll continue to stay vigilant and watch where that goes, because that will have an impact on public schools moving forward. Are there any questions before I move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chair.
Yeah.
Dr. Green, I just want to commend you, and if y'all didn't have a chance to zoom in on the NAACP Martin Luther King ceremony yesterday, Dr. Green and Senator Fanny spoke on that very same stuff yesterday. And I almost thought we was going to church because they laid that on the line. But I just want to commend both of y'all for always speaking the truth and standing up for what's right and not being scared. Because a lot of time we fail because we don't speak the truth and we're scared to stand up. We don't talk to our kids about what's going on and why they're being discriminated against. We tend to just sit back and stay at home. We don't go vote. We don't do this. But then when stuff happens to our kids, and everybody want to get upset. But I thank you and Senator Fanny yesterday. It was a great ceremony. But I really thought it was in church. I couldn't listen to y'all all day yesterday. Y'all really put the facts out there and truth, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. I appreciate those very kind words. They, I testified before the Senate subcommittee on last year when they were debating this bill. And I read a admission policy from a private school in South Carolina that was on their website. Okay, so I didn't have to go far back. I just went to peruse some website. And on their website, they state that as we consider students for admission, and let me start with that point. Public schools don't admit, they enroll. There's a big difference. Okay, so public schools don't admit, they enroll. That means that whoever comes to the door, that's who we take. But on their statement regarding admission, they said explicitly, Ms. Green, we don't recognize IEPs or 504s. Okay, if you're pregnant, you can't come. If you got a baby, you can't come. If for any reason we don't feel as if you don't fit in to how we think our students should be, you can't come. And I respect any school's ability to create those kinds of guidelines. Okay, and that is within their right. The only problem is you can get public money. Okay, and so if you want to do that, I respect those institutions. But I think you shouldn't be getting public money. Okay, and I just question how that is illegal. And some people forget there are probably over 300 private schools in South Carolina. And the suggestion that we are going to start providing state money to those schools with virtually no oversight. Virtually no oversight. It's bad. You know, I'll tell you, I look forward to having a conversation with our new state superintendent of education, Ms. Weaver, who has served on the Education Oversight Committee for the last several years and has been responsible for developing the accountability system that schools have been governed by, the assessments, the cut scores, and all of those items, because I heard from her and others that the public deserves to know what the return on their investment is. I really would like to know, since you feel as if that accountability system is needed for public school, tell me why it's not needed for private school. Okay. I mean, and so I think that's a fair question. It's a very fair question to say if we think that this accountability system is essential for public school, so the public will know the return on the investment. I think, as they say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And so that should be good for private schools as well, if they want to receive state money. So let's continue to stay engaged in this process. Let's continue to advocate and contact our representatives and even people who don't represent us. I mean, I think they need to hear your voice. As school board members, they need to hear your voice. As parents, they need to hear your voice. As teachers, they need to hear your voice as citizens to know how you feel about it. And, you know, Mr. Bill, I said to someone, my youngest daughter will graduate this year, but if I still had children in school and they passed a proposal that would provide public money to private school that did not require that they take the assessment, I would refuse to let any of my children take assessments. Personally, okay. That would be my focus, is that if you were going to provide public money to private school, provide them to take assessment, my children who attend public school would no longer take assessments. That would have been my public, personal position. Okay. And you know, maybe the Lord looked out for my daughter. She would have graduated before this. But that would have been my position if she would have not graduated this year and they passed such a proposal. But let's stay abreast of what's happening during this legislative session. Also, Academic Challenge team will host a home match on tomorrow at 4:15. I have a hospital board meeting tomorrow, so I may catch a little bit of that, but if you've never been to Academic Challenge match, you want to go and check it out. These young people are brilliant, and it reminds you, what was the little show, how smart is a fifth grader, third grader? As far as third grader, I'm not very smart. What I think was Academic Challenge match, a lot of improvement that they know I don't know about that. I mean, wow, he's a smart kid. So if you get an opportunity to go, please go and check out the Academic Challenge match. Will be tomorrow, and that should start really focused being in 4:30. Oh wow! So there's a lot going on. And where are they going to be? Where are they going to be this? Yeah. So the Academic Challenge match is going to be a high school match. So we have Academic Challenge at high school and middle school. The match at the high school tomorrow, and they normally do it in the media center. Okay, so it'll be in the media center. And that's something that's true. All right, now to the district COVID report. And I know you all have been watching the news, and COVID is on the rise, unfortunately. And so we're going to share some increases. We're still in pretty good shape, but remember, you know, a couple of months back, our number was 0, 0, 0. I mean, we weren't showing any COVID cases, not quite where we are now. All right, so as you see, student cases from January 9th to 13th, we had 3 reported isolation. And so by reported isolation, that means a positive case. As I continue to say, that's what we are aware of. That's who has reported it to us. And it doesn't mean everyone is reporting it to us. Because most people are doing at-home check, and they may share information with us or they may not. But you see, we are beginning to see an uptick in the number of student cases. Staff cases, same thing. We were at 0 just a couple of weeks ago. But now for the week of January 9th through the 13th, that is at 3 cases. All right. And so we continue to see our number of positive COVID cases inch up, which is in line with what is happening not only across the state of South Carolina, but across the nation. At this time, I'm not making any recommendations that we change our protocols at all. I mean, we will continue to monitor things and encourage vaccinations, I think, which helps to mitigate any substantial illness if you do come into contact with the virus. But we will continue to monitor this over the next several weeks. Any questions?
Yes.
I was just wondering if you're still making hand sanitizer and masks still available for whoever would like to in each classroom?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so we still have many schools that are requesting masks and hand sanitizer. We still have a pretty significant number of students who are wearing masks, even though masks are optional. Probably more so at some of our elementary schools and secondary schools with Green. But we'll see more mask wearing now than probably we did before the surge. So masks are still being provided and hand sanitizer and other PPE also.
Okay.
Do we have any different shots, Dr. Green? Any more boosters? Have you heard anything else kind of?
Yeah, so I think I don't know if they've come up with an additional booster over the last couple of months, Mr. Miller. I received my booster back in August, and I got the same time I got my flu shot. So I got a flu shot and a booster on the same day, and I think that is probably the most recent booster that is available. Okay, and I can't remember what number that was for me. What number that was Green? Number 5. Yeah. So I've gotten a lot of them. Yeah, but every time they say one of the available, I get. Okay, I get. Okay. Thank you, Chairman Miller. That's all I have now. You go ahead. Right.
And quick one. Yes, Robert.
Good evening again, members of the board, Chairman Miller, Dr. Green. For your approval, item number 1 under CNI is the second and final reading of the 2023-2024 proposed academic calendar. And there were no changes from the first reading that you all approved in December, but I will like to bring your attention to the survey results that have been included for you in board docs. We gave or sought out additional stakeholder feedback using an online survey. The survey was open to all stakeholders on December the 7th, and the online survey closed on December the 16th. The district received over 642 responses from various stakeholders, including staff, students, and parents. And based upon the feedback, we received 67% of the responses for the modified calendar. And as you can tell there, based on the 2 graphics that I provided for you, We had a great deal of participation as it relates to receiving feedback on the modified calendar and or the proposed 23-24 calendar. But again, close to 70% of the respondents prefer the modified calendar.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the second and final reading of the 23-24 academic calendar year.
I second. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. Davis. That the superintendent recommendation to approve the second and final reading of the 23-24 academic calendar year. Okay. Before we go in public vote, if you have any questions, Mrs. Excuse me. Any questions?
So Chair, I don't have any real questions. I just would like to let you know, I appreciate you polling the stakeholders. I do appreciate that.
All in favor, show by raising the right hand. Seven. Thank you.
Moving on to the second item is an overnight and out-of-state field trip request for Fairfield Central High School. The Student Government Association students will attend the SC State Convention at Sumter High School in Sumter, South Carolina. And the trip will take place March the 17th through March the 19th. They are anticipating 15 students along with one chaperone will be participating in this overnight field trip.
We'll get a motion.
So Chair,
Yes.
I recommend that the board approve the overnight field trip request for Fairfield Central High School.
Motion made by Spring, second by Reverend Jackson, accepted. Then Central overnight field trip. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. Thank you.
The third and final item under C&I is the first reading of the following policies: IMDA, patriotic exercises, IMDB, flag model displays, and IHAC, social studies education. And these are three policies as a result of some changes or some added requirements from our General Assembly. A bill was signed into law on May 16, 2022. As a result, every public school, including state and special schools and charter schools, must display in a prominent place a 8.5 by 11 poster. And this is an example of a poster that is posted in all of our schools here in Fairfield County School District. It has "In God We Trust." It also has "Breathe by Hope," which is a state motto, "Prepare in a Mind and Resources," which is another state motto. And the legislators have legislated that this has to be posted in our schools no later than January 1st of this year. So if you were to visit any of our schools, you would see this prominently displayed in our school building. So this is the first part of why we need to post this particular sign. Secondly, the new legislation also has outlined specific observances and presentations by youth patriotic societies. And the state superintendent of education is directed to require schools to observe Patriot Day, which will be on September the 11th, the week of Constitution Day, which will be on September the 17th, and Patriotism Week, the week that includes November the 11th, by holding appropriate ceremonies, events, and assemblies, in addition to developing appropriate curricula. Now, the school has the option to observe the Constitution Day and Patriot Day during one singular event. So that's the second component of this new legislation or new law that our legislators have approved. In addition to that, schools must have an opportunity or must give the opportunity and time for youth patriotic societies to present information to students during the school day. And these youth societies include Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Big Brother and Big Sister of America, the Future Farmers Association, along with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. And this is outlined in the law that our General Assembly passed on last year. This goes into effect July 1, 2023 of this year. Now, the South Carolina School Board Association has developed a model policy for the patriotic exercises for districts for us to consider. So the patriotic exercise will be a new policy. The South Carolina School Board Association has revised the model policy for flag model displays and the social studies education and recommends that districts adopt the models to incorporate the changes. So we currently have an existing policy for the flag displays along with the social studies education. However, as with all of the changes governed by the new legislation, the South Carolina School Board Association has recommended that school districts adopt the revised policies based upon the new legislation. So for your approval tonight are a total of 3 policies. We're requesting the board approve the first reading of the new model policy, which is IMDA, and the 2 revised model policies for IMDB flag model displays and IHAC, which represents the social studies education policy.
Do we plan to do all 3 of these at the same time?
Yes.
Can we get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the first reading of the new model policy, IMDA patriotic exercise, and the revised model policy for IMDB flag model display and IHAC social study education.
Second, first motion.
Made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. This first reading of MDA patriotic exercise, IMDB flag model display, as well as IHAC social studies education. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Oh, we have any questions? Anybody? have any-
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I just got one. Dr. Green, is the private school got in this thing?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay.
Obviously, they're trying to do something, but I know it doesn't require them to do anything, right? So, which they may choose, but it's always like we're picking on the public schools, and I ain't gonna say picking on it, I just say they make us go the extra mile. And they want to give the public money to the private. So all in favor, show by raising the right hand. Motion.
I just wanted to ask, when you had made lists or mentioned the list of activities that they were trying to incorporate on Boys and Girls, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, Boys and Girls Club, are they able to propose other clubs to be forced into our school system, or is that the list
That was the list of organizations or youth societies that were actually listed in the specific law.
and are they able to have an addendum in regards to more organizations, or is it finalized?
I didn't see that in the law, but from what I saw, those are the specific organizations, and I feel quite confident when another organization comes out and decides that they want to petition their lobbyists or whoever, their representatives to be included in the law, I could see down the line some additional organizations and or youth entities could be added. But as of right now, what's expressly written in the law are those organizations that I mentioned. Okay, thank you. It's so scary. It is.
Anybody else? We'll make sure I don't overlook anybody. Reiterating, superintendent recommends the board approve the first reading of the new policy, IMDA, patriotic exercises, revised model policy of IMDB, and flag model display of IHAC, social studies education. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That's 7. See, brother, one. Who's that?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
So, Ms. Harris makes a good point, said that, if we didn't follow this, what is the consequence? There is likely, a financial penalty, where you will be penalized, state funding, if you don't follow the guidelines of the policy. So it is, it's obviously, you come between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, so you are obligated to follow the guidance of the General Assembly. There will likely be some financial consequences. Yeah, so Chairman Miller, members of the board, Mr. Robinson is out today. So in your board packet is the December 2022 finance report for information. Are there any questions? I hope not, because I just messed them up.
Human resource.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This evening under human resources, we have certified resignations and terminations, where the superintendent recommends the board approve certified resignations and terminations to be effective at the conclusion of the 2022-23 academic year. These items are presented to you in exhibits 1A and 1B.
Can you get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a recommendation, we accept, I make a motion, we approve, I'm laughing at Mr. Speaker, y'all forgive me. I make a motion, we approve the superintendent recommendation for resignation termination to be effective at the conclusion of the 22-23 academic year in exhibit 1A and 1B.
That's better. Most made by Harris, second by Reverend Jackson. Accept the superintendent recommendation of the board approval. Certified resignation, termination, effective for at the conclusion of the 22-23 academic school year. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. That would be 7.
Thank you.
So, you got anything? I just wanted to report the board chair report, rather. We have any outstanding announcements from the board.
Chair, I have a couple of announcements. First, I want to thank the board and Mr. Bronson for allowing us to do the Feeding Fairfield back in December. It was a success. And I really want to thank Ms. Green down there for coming in early to help me fix the place that was actually being delivered to the people that couldn't get out. So I want to thank y'all for doing that. And also on January 28th, which is the last Saturday in this month, You all know Miss Tilly Armstrong and her kids started this back to school bash and the stuff of us. Well, at Wonder, is having some health, challenges right now. So we're gonna do myself, with Faith Fighters and my cousin Tanya Johnson P. We are gonna host a drive-through parade for her. The lineup will be 2:15 at the alumni school on Fairfield Street. The parade will start at 3 o'clock. If all of y'all could, come out, bring on the board, any elected official, anybody that want to come out and just show her the love, because she is she's battling some health issues right now. And Saturday, February the 4th, Evergreen 126 Order of the Eastern Star will be honoring women's history makers of Fairfield County, myself and Javonda. It will be honored that night. And I tell you, Dr. Green, when I got the call on, I'm like, what? Me? Y'all want to honor me? I just do what I do. I appreciate the honor. So along with 2 other people, but I do know me and Javonda will be honored that night. And it'll be at the Period Lodge at 6 o'clock in Ridgeway. And tickets are $30 plus $50. So anybody want to go, you can get in touch with me and Javonda. We know how to get tickets for y'all. And my gala is coming up February 25th. And the only problem I'm having now is finding the dress. The tickets are selling. They are selling. I appreciate all the support that we're having. And my baby girl will be graduating May 6th with a doctorate degree in veterinarian. She could not get up here for when they had career day. They are working something out now that she can come in April. She'll be out of school for a week before she graduates to talk to some kids, because a lot of parents and teachers reached out to me that their kids was interested in being a veterinarian. So she wanted to share, her insights and the hard work she had put in, because I'm telling you, it's hard work. But she's about to cross the finish line now. And her next step is Stanford University. Hopefully, she'll be doing laboratory work. She don't want to go into animal hospital. She wants to be tested on animals. So she will be up here, I think, April the 24th, if they can work out the dates between the middle school and the high school. And we also gonna get in touch with Giger too. So I'll, let y'all know more about that if anybody want to come and listen to her share her story. Yeah.
Chairman Miller, I'd like to just share with you, this past Saturday, I found out that me and my wife will be welcoming a granddaughter on April 5th. We're excited about that. It'll be our first granddaughter. Also, this coming Saturday, we'll be taking a group of kids down to Beaufort, down to the Penn Center, on a little educational trip. The Penn Center was a school that was started for free slaves back in the day. Going down there for that. Dr. Martin Luther King's come down during the summer for his retreats. There's also a war that was fought there. There's a lot of other historical events that took place down there in Beaufort. So we'll be going down there this Saturday at 8:30, and the tour will be at 12. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Anybody else? Get your hand up. Ms. Green, you're shaking your head.
I'm
ready to call today.
Mr. Davis, how I believe exposure is so important, and with them taking children down to the Penn Center, I think that's a good thing.
I think that we're supposed to sign this. Yeah. So, before we go, we want every board member, please come and sign this. This is ethical principle as a board member. Something that they want to. It's time. Can we get a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Ms. Harold. Second by Dr. Harris. To adjourn, all in favor, show by raising of the right hand. 7-0, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Once again.
Yeah. Pretty much.